Beneath the fading grandeur of Niagara Falls, towering above a city that once shimmered with promise, stands Marilyn Monroe's abandoned penthouse, a place where stardom and solitude once intertwined. Perched atop a 12-story Hotel Niagara, this forgotten sanctuary, once fit for Hollywood's most captivating icon, now lingers in eerie silence, its gilded past obscured by dust and decay. Inside these crumbling walls, 3 haunted mysteries remain. A hidden room that may hold secrets Marilyn never revealed, an unsent letter that could change everything we thought we knew, and a lingering presence that just refuses to leave. Step inside if you dare and uncover the truth that time tried to erase. The Hotel Niagara wasn't just a hotel, it was a place where history checked in and never really checked out. Built in 1924 by the ambitious Frank A. Dudley and designed by the renowned Eisenwine and Johnson, this 12-story giant stood like a sentinel over Niagara Falls, offering luxury, intrigue, and just the right amount of scandal. Legends walked its halls, some in high heels and others in polished leather shoes, and a few perhaps in the dead of night when no one was watching. Marilyn Monroe herself stayed here while filming Niagara in 1952. Her presence so iconic that some say you could still feel her breath in the air, or maybe that's just a draft from one of the broken windows. Joe DiMaggio was by her side, loyal, though some whisper he wasn't the only man captivated by her during those nights. Frank Sinatra crooned in its ballroom. John F. Kennedy allegedly practiced speeches in its suites, and rumor is that Al Capone used the place as a discreet hideaway. But like all great stories, this one had an expiration date. The doors shut in 2007, leaving behind only echoes of the past. And yet, the question lingers. Will the Hotel Niagara rise again, or will its secrets remain trapped inside forever? Standing tall at 12 stories, the Hotel Niagara is a monument to an era when luxury wasn't just a concept, but a way of life. Back in its heyday, this place was the equivalent of an Oscars after-party hosted by Frank Sinatra. And now, well, let's say it has the dignified wear and tear of an aging rock star who just refuses to stop touring. The exterior still boasts the grandeur of Gilded Age architecture, though time has weathered its once pristine face like an aging debutante clinging on to her last jar of cold cream. Gilded moldings and emblems that once gleamed in the sun now whisper of their past glory, dulled by decades of dust and neglect. Mysterious symbols that make you wonder, was this place built for the elite or a secret society that met under chandeliers and whispered about world domination? Speaking of chandeliers, the Grand Ballroom still maintains its elegance, but once radiant fixtures sway slightly in the breeze of forgotten dreams. Inside, the ornate plaster moldings and ceiling medallions are proof that craftsmanship did once matter. The oak and emerald floors likely bore the footsteps of flappers, politicians, and, of course, Marilyn Monroe herself, floating through in a cloud of old Hollywood glamour. And then there's the staircase, sweeping and dramatic as if it were plucked straight from the Titanic. The only difference? Well, this one actually made it past 1912, and while the vintage mail system still hangs on the walls, waiting for letters that will never come home, the old elevator still stands frozen in time. A reminder of when bellhops in crisp uniforms would ferry the rich and famous up to their rooms. These days, the elevator is just a ghostly time capsule. The entrance, with its signature revolving door, once spun for celebrities and socialites. Now it creaks as if debating whether to let anyone in. And should you make it inside, past the eerie silence and half-renovated spaces, you'll find views that will still take your breath away. There's Niagara River on one side and a historic church on the other, as if the penthouse itself stands between sin and salvation. But the Hotel Niagara hasn't given up yet. Like a former movie star still wearing sunglasses indoors, it knows one thing. Legends never fade, they just wait for a comeback. Now, once upon a time, the Hotel Niagara's lobby was a palace for the people. Well, rich ones, at least. Now, with the ceiling so meticulously crafted it can make Michelangelo jealous, the space welcomed guests with majestic medallions and intricate plasterwork that whispered, "You've made it, darling." But time, like an overzealous housekeeper, has dusted away its former splendor. The chandeliers, which drip with crystals and cast golden light, now lie scattered on the floor like fallen royalty, brilliant in their demise, still refusing to be ignored. They may no longer illuminate the room, but they do serve an elegant trip hazard for anyone that was daring enough to explore. Despite the decay, the traces of wealth remain. The large grand windows still stretch toward the sky, allowing light to pour in and highlight the Indian-inspired metal artwork, a decorative mystery as elegant as it is unexpected. Across the room, an old telephone booth stands like a relic of a bygone era. It was once the scene of whispered secrets and late-night calls from lovers or bookies. If only the walls could talk. Though, judging by the vandalized surfaces, someone already tried. And let's talk about that historic bar or fountain or whatever it was. No one's quite sure anymore. Was it where socialites would clink martini glasses, or where weary travelers would splash their faces after losing at the casino? Either way, it now sits in eerie limbo, waiting for someone to remember its purpose. Leading away from the lobby, multiple hallways sprawl outward. In the past, these hallways led guests to ballrooms and grand suites. These days, they're more reminiscent of a choose-your-own-adventure horror film. Some areas were partially restored before renovations were abandoned, leaving a strange mix of past elegance and present neglect. The crumbling lead paint on doors flakes away like an aging diva shredding her last layer of foundation, revealing a beauty that refuses to be forgotten. But despite the decay, the lobby still holds on to its former glory like a seasoned actor waiting for a comeback. And who knows, maybe just maybe it's not done stealing the spotlight just yet. Now, climbing the grand staircase of the Hotel Niagara feels like stepping into a time machine, one with a few missing screws and a suspicious creaking sound. Now, once the height of sophistication, its banisters now seem to whisper, "Hold on tight, sweetheart, this might be your last ride." At the top, historical medallions still cling to the ceilings, defiantly refusing to crumble like their less fortunate neighbors. The guest rooms, well, they're mostly gutted. If you were hoping for a glimpse into Gilded Age luxury, you might have to squint really hard and use your imagination. The old carpet isn't original, it's a sad faded relic of some later renovation attempt, clinging on for dear life. But here and there, vintage chairs remain, stubbornly refusing to abandon their posts, as if expecting someone famous to sit in them again. The walls, which were draped in elegant wallpaper, resemble the peeling set of a horror movie. And the windows? Oh, they offer a fantastic view of a ghost town. The city below, once alive with the hum of tourists and gamblers, now looks like the setting of a post-apocalyptic western. Even the historic church rooftop in the distance seems to sigh, as if exhausted from watching over this fallen empire. The hallways stretch endlessly, eerily quiet, like a scene from The Shining. Now, previously a bustling command center of culinary delights, the large kitchen of the Hotel Niagara looked like the set of a haunted kitchen TV series. The old tiles are still stuck to the floor, some intact, others cracked, perhaps out of just sheer protest. Scattered ice on the floor adds an element of danger, as if the ghosts of past chefs are trying to sabotage an unsuspecting intruder. The rusting pipes and fixtures loom overhead, dripping occasionally, like a bad plumbing joke that no one's laughing at. In one corner, a vintage trash compactor sits quietly, as if waiting for someone to feed it one last discarded filet mignon. Want to explore further? Well, good luck. Broken doors and locked storage areas stand in the way. Their secrets sealed behind warped wood and rusted locks. They hide secrets. I mean, who knows what's inside? An untouched bottle of Prohibition-era bourbon, a chef's forgotten hat, Jimmy Hoffa, and the mystery remains. The narrow utility hallways wind below the hotel like a labyrinth, once used by staff moving swiftly between duties. Now they feel eerily still, like they're waiting for someone, anyone, to remember the grandeur that once was. Beneath the crumbling magnificence of the Hotel Niagara lies a maze of utility hallways, once bustling with staff carrying trays of fine dining and whispered scandals. Now, they're eerily silent, save for the occasional creak of a rusting pipe groaning in despair. The old storage rooms are locked tight, possibly hiding vintage secrets or just dust from the Eisenhower era. Broken doors lean off their hinges, threatening to collapse with a single nudge. And in the corner, a trash compactor stands frozen in time, as if waiting for a waiter to scold it back to life. Once a jewel of Niagara Falls, the Hotel Niagara now stands like a retired Broadway star, fading, dramatic, and desperately clinging to its former glory. The grand ballrooms where flappers once twirled and big bands would swing now sit in eerie silence, save for the occasional drip of water damage creeping through the walls. The ornate chandeliers, some still miraculously hanging, flicker under the weight of time, refusing to let go like a diva who won't exit the stage. Outside, boarded-up windows guard against ghost hunters and nostalgia-driven thrill-seekers, while inside, cracked marble surfaces and peeling ceiling paint whisper secrets of a luxury long lost. The floors groan underfoot, perhaps in protest of their abandonment, and hallways echo with emptiness, a soundtrack fit for a Hitchcock thriller. Evidence of past looting is clear. Grand mirrors have vanished, likely gracing someone's Airbnb, while brass fixtures sit rusting, their shine long gone. Some rooms do still have power, an unsettling detail that only adds to the mystery. And then there are doors that lead to nowhere, because why not add a little horror movie energy into the mix? Whether doomed for demolition or destined for restoration, the hotel waits, its fate hanging by a gilded thread. And that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this deep dive into hidden secrets, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more untold stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.